our audience and our presenter, Andrea.
Okay. Once upon a time, I began to search for the reason that I was here. This search led me to classrooms, various institutions of religion, and libraries. Sometimes it led me to intelligent conversations with more educated people. Sometimes it led me to coffee houses in downtown Santa Cruz, being fashionably philosophical with fellow lost souls. I preferred the most esoteric and arcane teachings and philosophies possible, because whatever the truth was, it was somewhere besides wherever I was. Whoever the wise ones were, they were someone besides myself, and they certainly were not my parents. There were times that I threw my hands up in frustration. Then I indulged in escapism by playing video games and by sitting in a fellow college student's living room, listening to music and discussing the world's problems, because it is a fundamental truth that anything thought under the influence of cannabis is a great work of brilliance. I was looking for what was real, escaping what wasn't, and avoiding the world right before my eyes. We weren't trying to save the world because there was no hope for the world. We were just trying to cope with the world we blamed our parents for messing up. We were blue-jeaned Buddhas in Dr. Martens and flannels, with our prayer beads or magic wands in one hand, our sketchbooks in the other. We were all sensitive artists. We hated what the media called us, slackers, 20-nothings. We thought, but I'm not like that. But we were exactly like that, and we were exactly what people thought we were. As much as I mocked those ambitionless Generation X seekers, I was a Generation X seeker myself, and I had the beads and the munchies to prove it. Then the world changed. The recession was over. I had a normal job. It involved sitting at a computer for 12 hours, consuming junk food, and throwing paper airplanes over the tops of the cubicles. In short, I was now paid to do what I did before. This soul-deadening work had become our fashionable ticket out of slackerhood. I had among the most fashionable of those jobs. I was a software quality assurance tester. I sat in front of a computer screen and carried out repetitive sequences of keystrokes and other commands, trying to get software to break, and then documenting all the errors that came up. Outside those walls, real life knocked, and with it came the necessity of finding some manner of coping with real life. I began to search for a connection to something that had nothing to do with technology, so I began to search for religion again. It didn't take me long to find somewhere I was comfortable, something that agreed with my internal belief systems. I didn't think I needed to stretch my worldview that much or adapt at all. It seemed at first a ready-made fit. I needn't go into specifics of what religion, because the story I'm telling is relevant to any faith. Once I found an institution, I began attending. I acquired the fervor of the newly converted. I was really obnoxious. I alienated my friends, and I acquired new friends from my new religious institution. And things were fine up to a point. It wasn't easy, and it didn't solve any of my problems. It's a misnomer that religion instantly makes everything wonderful. My friend, a Christian, once said, "Religion doesn't make you happy, it gives you peace." I was there for a few weeks when suddenly it changed. The visiting teachers of my new faith had gone on for hours about something, but I wasn't listening. I wasn't paying attention to him, but to a young man whom I'll call Johnny. He had this unearthly quality to him, but most of all, he had beautiful hands. They were slender, graceful, and adept, and they were even more beautiful, folded in a gesture of meditation. And once I noticed Johnny, it was downhill from there. I began preening. I bought new clothes and carefully tailored everything I did or said. In short, I did everything that the teachers had been warning me against. I was obsessed with how I looked. I wasn't nearly so obsessed with Johnny as I was with myself. Although my body still sat faithfully among the practitioners, I was of the sacred temple of Johnny. I was fidgety and neurotic. Johnny concentrated on the teachings, despite my distraction. I admired this religion. I could watch Johnny practice it for hours. I wasn't there to have any kind of spiritual communion, because I didn't need to leave the house for that. I was there to commune with humans. Despite my spiritual aspirations, I, a human, still got caught up in the human realm. If I am to repeat this scenario, I would try to remember that I am a human, observing another human being, in a room full of human beings, following rules handed down by human beings. And as distracting as my attraction was, I learned that I couldn't run from my humanity. The best I could hope for was damage control. Everything can be considered escapist, fantasy, religion, work, or slacking off. I spent years trying to be someone else or find something outside of myself. Finally, another recession came. I'm back where I started. As an almost 40-year-old student, I've come full circle. I looked feverishly for answers, only to discover more questions. I spent all that time searching for myself, only to discover that I was right here the entire time.